Hi everybody, I'm Annie Harbison, and today we're going to do more of a restorative flow. So you may want to grab a couple props or just a pillow and a blanket. If you don't have any of that with you, not a problem. Okay, so everybody, we're going to start lying on our backs. So find a comfortable position in your body. Extend your legs away from you. Sometimes I kind of have to wiggle in my hips a little bit to open up my hip flexor area. And first, lie here and connect with the ground beneath you, the earth. And begin focusing on your breath. Release in any tension or mental chatter with your exhale. And see if you can get 1% more comfortable and or heavier or more relaxed into your mat. Good. Maybe let your jaw be loose. The space between your eyebrows be soft. Spread your toes wide, fingers. Maybe imagine small stones in your palm. So allowing your wrists and the joints of your hands to get a little heavier. And then begin by placing your palms together, rubbing your hands together here just to create a little heat. And then place your hands wherever your body needs a little bit of tenderness. Maybe it's your heart, maybe it's your heart and belly, maybe it's your head. And either choose an intention here or let it be tenderness. Take another full cycle of breath. And then as you're ready, release your hands down. And then stack your left ankle on top of your right. Draw your arms overhead. And then clasp your left wrist with your right hand. And find this side bending shape. In yin yoga, we call this banana asana. No, it's a funny name, but as you tilt your body into this shape, you may understand why. You can keep your gaze neutral or take it over to your left shoulder. And as you're in these shapes, see if you can trace a line of stretch or the line of stretch in your body with your breath and with your focus. As we move through this more meditative flow, it's very common for our mind to kind of take control. So if we have something to attune to or to focus on, then it can help us stay more present. Good, and then slowly release. Take your arms wide overhead, your legs wide. Create an X shape in your body. Good. Open and close your hands. Roll your ankles if it feels good, or just fully rest on the floor. Good. And then stack your right ankle on top of your left. You can bring your left foot in a little bit. Find that stretch in your lower body, and then sweep your arms overhead. This time, clasp your left hand around your right wrist and feel that opening happening from your feet through your hands. Here you may notice a openness happening between your rib bones, an extra stretch happening between the top of your hip and your underarm. And again, trace that line of stretch with your breath. Good. And then slowly release. Reach your arms up and overhead. Squeeze your legs together. Take a nice, big, long stretch. And then exhale, draw your knees in, wrap your arms around you, squeeze. Good, and then keep your right knee in, reground your left leg. Your fingers can be around your shin or behind your thigh, whatever feels good for your body. Extend your leg long on the floor, ground through your shoulders. Your feet can be soft or they can be flexed here. It's really up to you, whatever feels better in your body. If you're using this as a cool down or even just a more restful practice, it may feel good to keep your joints a little limp here. Great. And then keep your left hand on your shin or your thigh. Take your right arm to the inside of your leg and then see if you can clasp, your shin, your pant leg, or the outer edge of your foot and find half happy baby. One thing I have to do to keep myself honest is place my left hand on top of my left hip and reground my hip. So my sacrum and my left glute are completely on the floor, okay? Your leg does not need to be, or your knee doesn't need to be all the way up into your underarm. Your knee can be slightly bent and your foot can be high, okay? It can look like this. It doesn't need to look like the shape I'm doing right now, okay? And then as you're ready, you'll take the twist. So take your left arm to the outside of your right leg. Extend your right arm away from you, away from your shoulder. And then drop your knee over towards the left, okay? This is a great spot for a blanket or a pillow under your knee. If your knee is hanging, okay, we want to add support there, okay? Also, if your shoulder is lifted up off the floor, that's a great place for a pillow or a blanket as well. Good. Your arm can be completely straight or like a half a goalpost, whatever feels good. Good. Close down your eyes if it feels safe. And allow your breath to trace that line of stretch. And then slowly come back to center. Rest here in a Shavasana shape. And then draw your left knee in towards your chest. Again, take your hands underneath your thigh or around your shin below the knee and draw your knee in. Again, flexed feet or relaxed is totally up to you. Hug it in. This is Apanasana or wind relieving pose. Good. And then as you're ready, draw your knee out to the side. Again, take that shape you took on the other side or try to mimic it. It does not have to look the same. We're often, not completely symmetrical. So we have imbalances from side to side. Good. Draw the knee down towards the floor as much as you can, but stay really mindful through your chest. So if you're doing something like this, find that position where you can keep your torso or shoulders grounded to the floor. Good. And then as you're ready, move into that twist again. Draw the knee to the midline, cross the body. Good. And then Find that complete twist. Make sure there's support underneath the knee and the shoulder. Breathe here, focusing on the low back and the glutes. Maybe even the outer thigh here. Also the chest, the pectoral muscles, the anterior deltoid are all opening up here too. Good. And exhale, slowly release. Take a pause here. Extend your arms overhead, squeeze your legs in towards the midline. Exhale, draw your knees in, wrap your arms around your legs, squeeze. And then start rocking back and forth. Good. Up and down the length of your spine. Good. And then come to balance on your hips. Good. And we'll actually move down towards the floor. Good. So find the floor beneath you, belly down. So we call this prone pose. Good. And this time we're gonna actually take a sphinx shape. So the shoulders will stack on top of the elbows. You'll engage your belly here, press your pubic bone down, and open through your chest. In Chinese medicine, there's a belief that this enhances the flow of qi. There are acupressure points right in the spine, so it's a central location of qi. So this position will bring you great energy. Good. Take a few breath cycles here. And sometimes too, I like to do a little bit of a neck roll from side to side. That can feel nice. If it feels better to stay still, you can do that. Good. And then return down to your belly. Place your forehead on your hands for a prone shavasana shape. So recollect your energy back into your center. Good. And then extend your left arm and tent your right fingertips down to the mat. Lift your right foot, bend your knee, and open your body up, focusing on the pectorals again and the anterior deltoid. Good. You can stay here, or if you want more sensation, take your arm behind your low back. Good. Again, opening through the chest. Being mindful that your shoulder isn't up towards your ear. It's grounded down or pulling down towards your hip. Good. And then slowly release. Good. Return to center. Maybe wiggle your hips a little bit here. Release any tension in your low back, between your sacrum and your lumbar. And then extend your arms long, or your right arm long, your left fingers tenting, left leg up, knee bends, right ear grounds to the mat. The sole of your foot comes to the floor, or a block or blanket. And if you reached up on the other side, see if you can take a similar shape on this side. And stay open across your chest. Be mindful not to drop your shoulder forward. Good. And then exhale, slowly release. Good. Keep your arms wide. Rest one cheek to the floor. Good. And then press your body up. and find a wide knee child's pose. Good. Take your arms forward. That is an option. Hands underneath your forehead is another option. Good. Also, one of my favorite options is to take your hands inside, kind of tucking yourself into this little cocoon. It can feel really restoring. Good. Take a few breath cycles here in this shape. Good. Very nice. And then slowly peel yourself up. Refind your table. Good. And take a little bit of spinal movement. So actually we'll do some cat-cow. Good. The arching and the rounding is really great for spinal mobility, flexibility. Create some space between each vertebrae. And then send your rib cage over to the left for some lateral flexion. And then to the right. So you get a lot of movement and space here in your torso, and your side waist. And if you want to combine those movements, you can do some barrel rolling, some cat-cowing. Some people kind of like to go down and up. But do what feels right in your body. Good. And then return to your table. Place your right hand in the center of your mat. Reach your left arm up for thread the needle. So thread your needle through and under your right arm. Keep your right palm planted down towards the earth. Good. And be mindful that you are staying engaged with the floor in your left arm. You may feel a gentle drag in your upper arm, and that kind of opens the fascia and connective tissues in the back side of your arm and upper back. Good. Take some time here. And at any point, if you want to pause the class or video, you can just to linger longer. Great. And as you're ready, press yourself back up. Reach up. Good. This time again with your left arm. And then plant your left hand down to the floor, right in the center of your mat or your chest. And then reach your right arm up. And exhale, thread your arm through. Reground your left hand or fingertips. Good. And see if you can find that gentle drag. Maybe scooting your arm further underneath you. Good. We're focusing on one side at a time. So if you need to kind of release your left shoulder a little bit more, if it feels better for you, you can. Linger here for another full cycle of breath. And then as you're ready, peel yourself up and open your heart and exhale. And speaking of the heart, we'll be moving into heart melting or anahatasana. Okay, so refine your table position. Okay, and then walk your hands forward. Okay, start to melt your heart down towards the floor. Okay, and your position can be here with your forehead connected to the floor. Okay, stay really kind of open through your hips, but not too open. So we don't want to take our knees to the side. We want to keep them right underneath our hips here. Okay, but you're not coming all the way back. You're keeping your hips stacked on top of your knees. So walking your hands forward, forehead can lay on the floor, or for added sensation, you would take your chin to the floor. Your gaze can be between your thumbs. And this can feel really good in the upper back. It's a great shoulder opener. It's a great way to engage the upper back, but without doing any kind of really active movement. It's a really good one too for the rotators. Good, and great for the low back as well. So whenever you're ready, slowly walk your hands back to center. It may feel good to take that wide knee child's pose and then take that really restoring version with your arms to the insides of your legs. Great, and then peel yourself back up. Good, take a little bit of movement here. Cat-cow, if that feels good. Move from side to side. Good. And then come back down to the floor. Hips resting on the mat. Good, and this can be a good spot to use a blanket. I'll go ahead and grab mine. So to show you, you can fold your blanket as many times as you need, but the blanket just really offers a lifting of your hips so you're not sinking in your lower back. Okay, so when you're ready, extend your legs forward, and then see if you can melt your heart towards your knees. If you need to take another blanket and thread it underneath your knees, that's completely cool too. You do not have to have completely straight knees here to hinge forward, but if you do have straight knees, that's fine too. And see if you can keep your feet active, if you do, for an added sensation. Or if this is enough, that's completely fine. You can stay relaxed through your feet, but keep your spine kind of long. Okay, rather than creating a rounded shape. We do this so often in our daily lives, whether we're, sitting down at our desk or, driving or standing in line at the grocery store. Like, it's very common. So if we can stay engaged through your spine, that will support you beyond just your practice today. So again, trace that line of stretch. You may feel it below your glutes and run all the way down through your ankles. Very nice. Take a few more breaths here. Great. And then walk your hands up your legs and place your hands by your side. Find that tall position in your torso, sending the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Send the energy of your legs forward in front of you. See if you can draw your shoulder blades together. Good. Bring your energy down just below your ribs, just between the base of your ribs to your solar plexus. Very nice. See if you can draw all of your energy inward here. Very nice. And then relax and come to a butterfly shape. So I'm going to turn to face you so it's a little bit easier for you to see me. You've probably done this before. I know when I took dance, even as a 3 or 4-year-old, we did this. And it was so much fun because we just kind of flew like a butterfly or buzzed like a bee. You don't have to do that today if you don't want to, but if you will, guide the soles of your feet together and drop your knees out. That would be great. So you find this butterfly shape, or if you prefer an open book shape, that's completely cool too. So see if you can draw the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling just a little bit more. If you're feeling a lot of sensation in your inner thigh and groin area, no worries. Just send your feet forward in front of you, okay? You can intensify or more modify your position by your feet, okay? If you've got them, blocks or pillows beneath your knees are really supportive here, okay? You can stay here or begin to hinge at your hips, sending your heart forward towards your feet. You can use your elbows to the insides of your thighs just to ground them a little bit more. And then find your fold forward. You can gaze to your big toes or just beyond your feet. We really want to focus on keeping the neck spine long so we're not cranking our neck or like over hinging at the vertebrae. Good. So that's a good thing to keep in mind with any drishti or gaze point. We want to keep our spine as long as possible. Very nice. And hold for a few more cycles of breath. And then as you're ready, come on up. Close your book. And actually you'll keep your left heel tucked in and then extend your right leg out. Find that half wide-legged position. So again, if it's too much here, you can send your foot out. You do not have to take your leg as long. You can keep it closer in to you if that feels better. But first thing, we're going to walk our hands forward, keeping our hips grounded into our blanket or the floor, and find that fold position. So we're focusing on the interior thigh, okay? So we're feeling that stretch in the adductor muscles, which start at the top of the femur and then run all the way down to the knee, and one actually attaches below the knee. So you may feel sensation below the knee as well. Good. Find that stretch that feels good to you. You may notice that you have a little bit more openness now and you may not need your blanket as much. So be mindful of those shifts that take place after you've been moving or doing the stretching for a while. That's a positive thing, right? Good. And then walk your hands back up to center. Good. And then place your right hand to your pant leg, okay, or to your shin, and then reach your left arm up and find that side bend stretch again, okay? You can take your hand to your waist, or I should say, you can take your right elbow to your thigh and catch your head. It's really up to you. You can also keep this arm in your lap if that's better. Just take a moment to kind of meditate on the shape. Notice what you feel from side to side. Good. And then slowly guide yourself up. Take a moment. One thing I like to do between sides is take my feet long or wide, excuse me, and rock my knees from one side to the other. Just kind of opening up the sides of the hips, kind of resetting the body. You can send your gaze to each shoulder if you like, or each side. Good. And then find this position on the other side, okay? You may notice some changes, and that's completely normal. And as you get there, your right foot is tucked in towards your hips, your left leg is long, okay? And we'll take that forward fold first. So find that shape. Also, you may notice your hips. You want to stay as grounded as possible. So if you need to kind of lift your flesh a little bit, you can reground your pelvis a little bit more there, okay? Find those sitting bones. And then walk your hands forward. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, see if you can hinge just a little bit deeper. It can be like 0.5%. Very nice. Maintain space on each side of your neck, between your ear and your shoulder. Good, take one more full cycle of breath here. And then walk your hands in towards your hips. Good, your left hand can go on your shin or your knee, your right arm goes high, and then start to hinge. Kind of find that ballet dancer, your inner ballet dancer, so to speak. Okay, stay grounded through your right hip and extend through your fingertips. Again, if you prefer something a little bit more relaxed, you can hook your hand behind your low back, rest your hand to your lap, or you can allow your head to rest in your hands. I even like to add a little bit of padding here so my hand can reach my head a little bit more easily. Yep. So it's a great use of a blanket or a block or pillow. It's just to lift the floor higher. Very good. And as you're ready, slowly come out. Place your prop to the side and take that wide position again and drop your knees to the sides. Good. Open up the fronts of the hips a little bit. If it feels good for you to come down onto your forearms, that's an option for you as well. I'll shift to the side so you can see me from this direction. Good. And then come down to your back again and find that knees to chest position, keeping your spine fully connected to the floor. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then rest the soles of your feet on the floor. Pick your right foot up and cross it on top of your left thigh. Feel that stretch happening, okay, through the inner thigh, and maybe you're even feeling some sensation in the hip here, the front of the hip. That's completely normal. You can stay here. We're moving into kind of a figure 4 or supine pigeon position. So if you want to stay here, again, that's an option for you. If you would like more, pick your left foot up and then place your hand to the underside of your left leg, okay? You'll see this a little bit better on the other side, but here you may be able to see my right elbow hooking into my right inner thigh and pressing it outward, okay, away from me. Here you can keep your feet flexed or soft, totally up to you. If you're like, Annie, I'm good, I really just wanna hug my whole leg in and cradle it like a baby, you're more than welcome to do that too. Okay, our focus is the outer hip. So whichever version feels best for your body, go for that. Very nice. We'll take another reclined twist here. So take your arms out, cross your legs fully this time, scoot your hips, and then drop your knees over towards the left. We scoot our hips over to the right just to give our spine and hips a little bit more space. Your gaze can go to your right palm or inward. It's totally up to you. See if you can stay open across your chest and keep your breath moving. Feel free to linger longer here. Or if you're ready, just slowly unwind, uncross your legs, open your feet wide and drop your knees into touch. Focusing on this outer area of the hip again. Good, then bring your legs back to center. Good, this time stack the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Stay here or draw your legs in towards your chest. Clasp your hands behind your thigh, okay? That's an option. Or to fully cradle your leg. That's also an option. Whichever feels best for you, okay? You can hook that elbow to the inner thigh and press it out. That's nice. You can keep this leg straight. There's so many options. And then when you're ready, reground your foot. Take your arms out like a T. Shift your hips to the left this time. And then drop your knees to the right. Good. Trace the line of sensation. Take another full breath in and out. Good. And then slowly release. Drop your knees into touch. Good. And then bring the soles of your feet on the floor, knees stacking on top of your ankles, arms down by your sides this time. Good. As you inhale, lift your hips and take your arms back behind you. We're going to go as far as your low back is happy. Okay, so inhale, lift your hips and your arms overhead. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. One more time. And exhale. Drop your knees into touch again. And then slowly release your legs down to the floor. If there's another movement that you'd like to take before going into Shavasana, please go ahead and do so. But if you're ready to move into that Shavasana shape, take a few cycles of cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. See if you can get 1% more comfortable on your mat. And I'll leave you here in Shavasana. And the light in me honors the light in you. May the beauty of what you love be what you do. Namaste.